Well, I guess I'll jump right on in. Yep, that's me, Rob Lowe the Star, female rapper. I recently just quit my 9 to 5 to pursue all my dreams. But here recently, I've been spending a lot of my time at the doghouse. I even started my own lemonade. And the sales, well, you can say they're going good. Yeah. And I know you're probably wondering, what is the doghouse? Well, there's only one way to find out. You gotta tune in. And hey, you never know who's gonna push up on me. Hey, what's good? Hey, I want to welcome y'all back to another episode of Welcome to the Doghouse. Hey, and today, I got a very, very special guest with me, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, we got Big Court in the building, man. How you feeling?
I'm good. What's cracking?
Good. Hey, you got it. I'm happy you made it.
Man, listen, I got to say this, right?
Okay.
And I'm going on record saying this. You are one of my favorite artists, one of my favorite people,
We
and
gonna
favorite
get it up
personalities.
like that.
Yeah, real talk.
Thank
I've
you.
been around you a handful of times. You have a beautiful spirit, beautiful energy. I love your work ethic. And I cheer for you. You can ask any one of these motherfuckers. I'll be cheering for you.
I appreciate you, Court.
Yeah.
That means a lot coming from you.
No, real talk.
Thank you. I didn't know it was gonna open it up like that. So hey, thank
I got to give you your flowers. You know
straight
what I
up,
mean?
man. I greatly appreciate you, man. Thank you. Then touch back in the hometown, man.
Yeah. I'm here quite often, you know. A lot of times I'm in and out, you know. I got properties here and different business here, so, you know. Sometimes I announce it, sometimes I don't.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. So Cali's treating you good.
Yeah. Man, I've been there 22 years. So, you know, Cali is home. I mean, you know, Kansas City is home. Cali is home. And New Orleans is my third home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, like, there's so much I want to touch on with you,
Come
man.
on, man,
I just
I'm
don't
here.
like,
I'm here
man,
now.
like,
You got me. I'm here.
I want to kind of take it to the back, and we're going to
Go,
bring
whatever
it
you
forward
want to
if we can.
Whatever you want to do.
So, growing up in Kansas City,
Yes.
what's that like? Where you come from? Like how?
Yeah. So I grew up, you know, born in the 70s, raised in the 80s and the 90s. I'm from the faux block, 40s. I grew up on 42nd and Chestnut. You know, my childhood was dope. Growing up in the 80s, you know, I was raised on love, not necessarily survival. I grew up in a household where education was a focal point. I couldn't even speak grammatically incorrect in my house. My grandmother and my mother were both educated. So they used to make me read the encyclopedia and the dictionary, and they would quiz me on the words and how to use them. So, you know, I grew up only child. I was doted on. I was treated like a little prince. You know what I mean? But with that being said, I had that good foundation early on. But as the 80s came, you know, of course, you got the emergence of crack cocaine. You got, you know, the gangs and all that shit. So now I have to go outside and deal with the element, you know, so.
Yeah. So with that, where did that lead you then? Like, so did you jump into that or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, you know, it was a culmination of a couple things. You know, during that time, you know, my grandmother died in 87. And so my grandmother was an RN at KU. And so that kind of, you know how it is when Big Mama die. You know what I mean? It's like and so my mother and my aunt, you know, who became, at that point, the matriarchs of the family, you know, they was dealing with what they had to deal with. So they kind of got off on their shit, you know, dealing with the drugs or whatever. So for the early part of the 90s, going into 90, 91, I was kind of left to my own devices, you know. And this is where I kind of get street poison, you know, and so I started hanging with Southside Posse, SSP. They was real notorious back in the 90s. And kind of in a funny thing, what I saw happening too, I literally watched it because I'm old enough to remember where a lot of the niggas from LA started they started migrating. Right, because of the dope. So they started migrating to Midwest and Southern cities. So I watched how the niggas in my neighborhood was hustling in the 50s, the 60s, the 40s, 30s, whatever. So whoever they just so happen to be copping they dope from is who they align themselves with. So if they was getting their shit from a Blood or a Pyru, that's the understanding they got.
Got you.
Same thing with the Crippin'. So my neighborhood was kind of colonized by Crips. At that time, it was like East Coast Crips and East Coast, the LA set, and then Rolling 60s.
Okay.
You know, and so that's where the gangbang started really turning up in, I'd say late 80s, really 90, 91 is where I start feeling it. And so running with Southside Posse, they were in the 60s. And so they was Crips, super Crips, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I was never, which, I mean, people will argue me on this, but I was never a full active gangbanger. See, it's a difference between being gang affiliated and a gangbanger. You know, see, I never pressed the line like, yeah, what's up, cuz? I ain't never banged on nobody.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was heavily affiliated. So, you know, that came into it. And then, like I said, then I went to jail at 15.
15.
At 15.
What landed you in jail at 15, Gord?
Shit, thugging, man. Truth be told, man, full transparency, I can do that now at this age, at almost 50. So a lot of times, niggas are not, young guys are not inherently prone to criminality. We're not born criminals. You know what I'm saying? It's a learned behavior and it's environmental. So if niggas really be honest, a lot of the times we align ourselves with gangs and we start acting out because we're afraid. So with my thing, it's like, you know, my homeboy got killed in front of me when I was 13. This nigga got jacked for a starter coat. Oh, they shot this nigga over his Jordans. So now I'm fearful because I don't want to be victimized. Yeah. So what happens is I start like, shit, I need to tool up. You know what I mean? I need to get right. And so you tool up, you get right. You know, you might run a couple of phases, you might bust on a couple of niggas, don't nothing happen. You don't go to jail. But what happens is you start receiving that adulation from your peers. So now it start getting good to you. Yeah. And you start, so now you kind of start perpetuating that same element you was probably once fearful of. So now you start becoming the problem. Yeah. So I start becoming a problem. But with that, shit, I needed the tools to be the real problem I wanted to be. Yeah. So, you know, you 13, 14, man, we ain't got no money. We don't know how to get no guns. So shit, I said, fuck, let's go rob the gun store, you know? So we hit the gun store on 40 Highway back then. I don't want to call out the name of the store, but I mean, I went to jail for it, but we got away though. Yeah. We got away. Yeah. And so, you know, I'm like 15 years old. I got automatic weapons brand new with the price tag on them, you know? And so with that, we did that, we got away from it with it successfully. And then it was one little minor oversight. We didn't have no bullets and we wasn't old enough to buy bullets. Yeah. So I went back and hit it a second time to get the bullets. You know what I mean? Yeah, we was tripping. We was tripping. Boy, okay. But I got away with all this shit in that time, right? Yeah. So this was going into the summer. I think this might have been 90. This might have been 91, you know, and we went crazy, man. We was thugging. We was robbing, shooting, doing all of that. So we finally got jammed up maybe about 6-7 months later. We got jammed up right on 40 Highway. I don't know what the fuck we was doing in Independence, but that's where we used to go. We used to go outside the hood. I don't know, we was tripping. But, so I ended up going to jail for that. And that year, I was actually in the newspaper. I had to find it. My grandmother actually had the clipping, cause I was gonna be the first juvenile to be certified as an adult. Because during that time, they was trying to figure out what to do with juveniles that committed adult crimes. Okay. So what they used to do was give you what they call juvenile life. They keep you in juvenile till you're old enough to then transfer to the pen. They was like, fuck that, you 15, you think you grown, and you going to the pen at 15. That's what they were debating with, you know. Yeah. So I was dealing with that, and then I found out I was gonna be a father on top of that.
So you just
Yeah.
What? Okay, yeah. Okay. So you dealing with possibly facing some time.
Yeah.
You got a baby on the way.
Yep.
In the midst of all of this, right? Like, how is this court dog at this point? Like,
yes, yeah. At that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you get through all of that, and this transitions into you even like dealing with music?
Right. Well, so I wrote my first rap in like 1989, maybe. Okay. 89, middle school, right? And because I was inspired by like Ice-T. The first gangster rap record I ever heard was Ice-T, Squeeze the Trigger. And so that turned me out right there.
Yeah.
And then I remember when Ice-T came out with High Rollers, that was 88, because that was on Power. And I was playing my Nintendo and shit. I'd be blasting that album. And then the High Rollers video used to come on. And I was like, oh shit, that's what I want. I want a gun like that. I want women I want all that shit, right? Yeah. So that added to the allure. So not only are you being seduced by it in the environment, but the media, the video, and I'm not blaming nobody, but it's the reality of it, right? Your influence. Yeah. And so, so the rapping shit was like for fun. We used to do it at school at the lunch table. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And beating on the table. Yeah, beating on the table. Yeah. You bust your shit. You bust your shit. You know what I mean? And the niggas that was really good is the niggas that knew they shit by heart. Yeah. Right? Because some niggas be in their notebook like, nigga, hold on.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So we did that. But during that time, what ended up happening with that case is, so my co-defendants were all older than me. I was the youngest one on the case. Damn. So I ended up getting a lawyer. Shout out to Carl Bussey. He's still one of the top criminal defense attorneys in KC. I ended up getting a decent lawyer. And so what he set up was, he was like, basically he made it look like I was a young, impressionable kid, wayward, got mixed up with an older crowd. Because back then, juvenile court kind of worked like family court. Okay. So they would take certain things into consideration. I always did good in school, you know what I'm saying? And so they basically, I was in juvenile for about 7-8 months. Excuse me. So they basically put me on house arrest and took me from my mom, make me go stay with my dad. Yeah. And so then I was on house arrest for like a year. I think it was my sophomore year or something like that. And so, but in that time, that's when I was like, had to figure something out. Yeah. I was like, fuck, what I want to do? Like, you know, I was smart. It was a crazy dichotomy for me, because I was smart enough to be a doctor. But then I was also, you know, I had the heart and the nuts to be a great criminal too, and because I was smart. Yeah. So I didn't know if I wanted to be a doctor, a shooter, a dope dealer. I didn't, you know what I mean? I'm figuring all this shit out, right? So I'm in school getting A's and B's, and then I'm robbing motherfuckers when we get, you know, on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? So this is real talk. This is a real true story. Yeah. So that's what made me focus on the music, and then I got the baby on the way, which is my co-host, Rachel Renee. So I have her my junior year. Okay. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta figure something out. So that's where the sense of urgency came, where I'm like, I gotta figure something out. So that's where we started with the group CCG and all of that.
Okay. So CCG. Mm-hmm. How many people?
Initially, you asked some good questions, Roblo. Initially, we was like Wu-Tang. It was like 15 of us. Damn. It was like 15 of us. Okay. And then it whittled down to just me and Cisco. So it was just 2 of us. We was a duo.
Okay. No limit.
Yeah, No Limit. So how that came about with No Limit was, I used to and stop me if I get too long-winded.
No, you good.
But this is the thing, because this is why I be having I'm impatient with artists nowadays. Because back then, man, we didn't have no resource. We didn't have the internet. Things were so much more expensive. And if you were old enough to be around, then you understood. Yeah. Like studio time back then was like $200 an hour. You know, then you talking about reel to reel. You know, that shit was expensive. Yeah. So you had to either know somebody with money or you had to have money. Mm-hmm. So we were very resourceful because we wanted it. Yeah. You know, we didn't make no excuses. Mm-hmm. We couldn't afford the fucking studio. So what we did, we just robbed folks for equipment. Yeah. So we made a home studio.
Come on, yeah.
You know what I mean? This is true. Yeah. Actually, one of the motherfuckers that we hit was on Facebook, and he hit me. Like, I forgive y'all, and I feel like I contributed to y'all's success. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's a true story. And so, you know, we would finesse and rob folks for mixers and shit and keyboards and all of that. Mainly my guy Cisco, but I'm saying, you know, and so we start making demos in the house. And so shout out to Vel Bacardi. He was one of the first rappers from Kansas City to get a major deal. He had signed with Def America with Rick Rubin. Okay. And to see him on Yo MTV Raps, that was big, because it was like, fuck, this is somebody, he was from 39th Street from Holy Temple. So he's right up the street from me and he's on TV. This is possible. Yeah. you know. So, but I had to figure it out. You know, there's no industry in Kansas City, especially at that time. There's no information. Nobody around here could give me nothing, you know. So I came up with an idea, like, you know what? Let's do these fucking demo tapes. I'm gonna send this shit out. So back then on the tapes and CDs, you would have the addresses of the record companies. So I go through, I start sending them shits to all the majors, the Elektra, Arista, MCA, all the big boys.
A different type of grind back
Right,
then. Yeah,
you feel me? Now this is the thing. So I don't know media, I don't know press kit, I don't know shit, but my common sense. So it was intrinsic for me to say, well, shit, I guess they need to know who we are. So I hand wrote the bios. Then I say, well, shit, they need to know what we look like. So we go to 1 hour photo, you know, take the little pictures in our best B-boy stances and shit. And so then I put the pictures in there. That's back when you had to wait for the shit to get developed and all that, right?
Yeah.
So I send off this ghetto ass press kit, right? But fuck it, I'm grinding. I'm doing what I gotta do.
Straight up.
So I send it to all the majors. They send all that shit back. We don't accept unsolicited material. That's with the stamp on it. I don't know what the fuck that means.
Okay.
But the context of it was, nigga, we don't know you. Why you sending this shit? That's why I took you. So I said, well, shit, I gotta figure out. I didn't have the verbiage or understanding of independence. So I said, well, damn, these smaller labels, Rap A Lot, Black Market, In a Minute, at the time, I said, well, shit, let me send it to them. So I was trying to get on Ruthless Records with Easy. So I was calling Ruthless every week. I was talking to this lady named Cassandra Ware. Shout out to her, never met her. She was super patient with me. I was calling that motherfucker every week. Easy E there, he get my tape.
Yeah, come on.
You know what I mean? And to the point where I call, she'd be like, how you doing, Courtney?
Yeah.
No, Eric's not here, but he's gonna get it. So finally, I think this was late 94, she was like, yeah, you know, Eric's back in town. He did get your package, I'm happy. He dies in March. So then I got to start all over. So at the time, we had a partner, Dank Nitty. I don't know if you know who Dank Nitty is. Dank Nitty used to rap with us.
Okay.
So Dank Nitty sounded like Master P back then. I didn't know who Master P was. The only other time I heard his name was Romeo Rynell. Shout out to Romeo Rynell. He used to cut my hair on 44th in Montgal. Okay. So he used to bring P. So he was like, yeah, Master P. I was like, yeah, I'd heard that name before, but I don't know this nigga. You know what I mean? So I went and I listened to Ghetto's Trying to Kill Me. I was like, oh, okay, homie kind of dope. Yeah. Then I got 99 Ways to Die. And I was like, okay, well, fuck it. He got a label too, No Limit, Oakland. All right, send him a tape. Yeah. So I shot him about 6-7 tapes. I was relentless, right? And he had a voicemail. Okay. I would call and fill the voicemail up so nobody else could leave a message. I used to do that shit on purpose. I wasn't taking no for, come on, man. I was, so finally, nigga called me back. He called me back. At the time, I was living with my dad, and we both named Courtney, and he called, and, you know, he was like, yeah, you can speak to Courtney. I didn't recognize the voice. I was like, shit, he ain't here. He was like, all right, tell him P called. So then I was like, P? I was like, P who? He was like, Master P. I said, nah, this me. And so he started laughing, was like, nigga, you on the run? Would you dodging somebody or something? I was like, shit, nah, I'm fresh off house arrest, but nah, you know. So that's how that relationship started. So he flew us out to Oakland, because this is when he was still in Cali, and then that's when we did Down South Hustlers. I got my first gold record, and that's where the relationship started.
That is crazy. Man, this is good. I'm sorry. I'm like, dang, like,
yeah, that was the grind back then, because back then you had to, like, you know, that, and this could probably put context to why I say the things that I say, because everything that I've done up to this point, man, like I'm not formally educated in any of it. I didn't just start with connections and relationships. Like I had to really get out there and do it. Back then, a lot of people that are old enough to remember, man, we was in hella magazines. We was on hella compilations, national, like, you know, I see you connecting with different people and all of that. We was doing that with no social media in the 90s, you know. So, you know, that was the grind back then.
That's why I'm a big No Limit fan. Like,
I
grew up on No Limit.
What's your favorite No Limit record?
Honestly, No Limit Soldiers. That's crazy. I was telling my girl, like, my mom used to have me come out the room to rap it, because I knew everybody's verse on No Limit Soldiers. Part 2 off of MP The Last Dime. But
that was
every
a classic
week they was dropping, like, I had older siblings, so they was copping the CDs every week. So of course, you know, I'm getting the game as just being the younger, but like, wow. Okay, so do you have any memorable times of like what's like one of your most memorable time of just back then with being with No Limit? Like back in that time, like
So this the thing, right? My time with I have an interesting time with No Limit.
okay.
Because, and it's funny because some of the ones that came around at the No Limit heyday,
Okay.
some of them, they don't know me because I wasn't necessarily around. I'm from Kansas City.
For sure. Yeah.
So they'll be like, oh, I don't remember him. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Because what you got to understand is I was before you.
Yeah, come on. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, come on.
You came in 99, I was there in 95.
Yeah,
you know, so what ended up happening is, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm saying this. So we were a duo. We recorded a whole album with No Limit called 100% Gang.
Okay.
It was on the inside of Down South Hustlers. So at the time, my partner Cisco and Master P were oil and water. They did not get along. Okay. They did not like each other. And so we had a manager at the time who he was from Jersey, but he lived here. Mm-hmm. He was a little older than us. He didn't really know shit, but he knew more than us.
Yeah.
So he was managing us. You know how that shit go, right? So when we get to Cali, long story short, P fucked with me. He liked me a lot.
Yeah.
And he was like, look, I ain't fucking with them niggas. I don't like them niggas. Them your boys. Mm-hmm. I fuck with you.
Yeah.
But I come from gang culture, and then I'm just a real motherfucker. Mm-hmm. I was like, nah, I came with him. I'm gonna leave with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
You kind of got to take both of us.
Mm-hmm.
He respected it and was like, okay, cool. So we come back to Kansas City.
Okay.
So this is when we start putting out independent albums. But because I kept that relationship with P, mm-hmm. and some people know this, some people don't. Because of his influence, when I was using Southwest and Selecto and City Hall, okay. He made the call. And whatever I could get pressed up, he made them pay me COD. Okay. So back then, so this is what I'm saying, it was a different grind back then. Because see, we had hard costs back then. So if I'm pressing up 30,000, if I got 30,000 orders, I'm pressing up 35,000 CDs. Mm-hmm. I have had to front load at least $30,000 to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
So back then you had to pay.
That you had to pay. That's what I'm saying.
And hope they sell.
Yes, and hope they sell.
Yeah.
Because of P, these motherfuckers was cashing me out. So when they get their orders, they used to run, go to the one stops and run their ads and all that. If it came back, okay, Court Dog or CCG or whatever, we got 40,000 orders. Okay, I'm gonna fill them. But because they got them 40,000, they giving me $7 a CD.
Okay,
you see, so I'm getting $250,000 off each release up front. That's just, but I sold more than that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, which, this got me in tax trouble later, but that's another story, right? That's another story. So I'm saying that to say, we were doing independent things when No Limit. So I got with No Limit right before the heyday.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Then No Limit blew up. Mm-hmm. And so then what happened was when P moved to LA, he moved to LA a year before I did. Okay. So then when I moved to LA in 2002, that's when we linked back up and started kicking. You see what I'm saying? So the certain different No Limit fans know me from pre-Explosion. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And then you have those that know me from after Explosion to now.
Okay. So is that where TME?
No, that was some shit that I did just when you saw it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's dope. Okay. So musically,
mm-hmm.
transitioning, do you still do music? Do you still do music? Do you dabble
as an artist or dabble in music or in the business of music?
As an artist.
Hell no. Hell no. That time been past. Rob Lowe, stop it. Stop it. That me sound like Run DMC out this bitch.
Even that though. Sometimes you still have the passion for it.
Nah, that ship sailed.
So what made you just from music then getting into the business side of it? But it seemed like going into your own career with the music, you was already on the business of it already.
I was. Yep.
So how did that end up converting it from you being an artist? Hey, you know what? Okay, I want to be more on, I guess, the business entertainment side and not being an artist.
So I remember when it happened. My last album that I put out, my last full solo album was the Kansas City Chief, which I think I put out in 2000 or 2001. Okay. Then I put out the movie soundtrack, Still Here, because I had produced a movie with me and Cat Williams and Lawrence Hilton Jacobs in like '04. Okay. And that soundtrack was supposed to be my solo album, but I was running on fumes creatively. Gotcha. So and I was probably maybe 20s, I was coming to my late 20s. And to be honest with you, I just start outgrowing it. Because you figure I wrote my first rap when I'm like 13. Yeah. You know, so and then I was seeing success in other arenas of business. So it was like, I started outgrowing this rap shit as an artist. Yeah. And so that's when I said, but then, like I said, I got into real estate in the 90s. Cause what I didn't say is, even though I was getting money from music, I was still had a leg in the street too. So I had a good run from the late 90s to I don't know, early mid 2000s. So I started buying real estate. I bought my first house when I was 19. And I bought my first house because the old niggas in the hood that was seeing money, they was doing it. So I bought my first house thinking, shit, in case I go to jail or get indicted, I have something to leverage to help me get out of jail. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was my plan. I knew nothing about equity. I didn't know none of that shit. And so I remember buying my first house on 42nd and Wabash for $17,000. And I ended up putting like another maybe 15 into it. And I remember standing out front of that bitch feeling accomplished and shit. And then I got to thinking like, damn, I could rent this motherfucker for $550. Damn, I'm gonna be all forever trying to get my money back out this shit. Yeah. And then it dawned on me, because at the time I used to sell Big Reggie, you know what I'm saying? Like I was, I was getting 200-300 elbows of that shit, you know, 225, bring it to the city, 575 allegedly. That's what they used to do. Right. So, you know, so when I looked at the house, I said, damn, this is, okay, I gotta treat this like I treat that. It's volume. You know what I mean? Yeah. So shit, probably for the next couple of years, I just bought a bunch of houses. And so I had got up to like, I had 17 houses free and clear. And so I had connected with a lady down here. Now, by this time I moved to LA, but I connected with a lady down here that was over business funding at a local bank down here. So I met with her and she was like, how much you owe on your properties? I was like, shit, nothing. She was like, hold on, you got 17 properties free and clear? I said, yeah. So within probably, I don't know, it might've been the next 8-9 months, she got me a line of credit over the properties for $1.5 million. So this is happening around the same time that I'm kind of running on fumes and outgrowing being a rapper. So I'm seeing, you know, now my eyes are opening to different things, you know. And so then I'm also in LA with P. And, you know, I'm seeing different things that he's doing, how he's transitioning too, you know what I mean? So that's what pulled me kind of completely at that time out of music, you know, and then I start focusing on movies and production, which is why I did the movie with me and Kat, you know, back then.
You like acting? Is that?
I do. Yeah, I do. I think it's a natural transition for a rapper or, you know, or someone, any type of written expression, and so, you know, to transition into acting. Yeah.
I'm trying to do it slowly but surely. I'm gonna get there.
You should, especially now. You should create your own content. You can do your own series. Now, that's what I love, like technology and platforms. You ain't gotta wait. You ain't gotta audition. Do your own shit.
Do it on your own time. Yeah. Straight up. It seemed like even with you and Pete's relationship, I mean, I don't mean to jump to that, but
no, it's all good.
Building relationships is real important.
It is.
In this, dog. I feel like from music, I think anything just in business, like relationships is
that's the cornerstone of everything.
Important. Yeah. So is that with you and Pete, right? So with y'all, I'm sorry,
all good.
We got to cut this. My bad. We go, boom, we get you back up. But okay, with you building that relationship, do you feel like that was not something that leveraged you or helped you, but do you feel like that's something that you feel like, damn, like, hey, me going down this road and me being able to be connected with these people kind of helped you build kind of where you at in a way, or just?
I'm gonna tell you yes, but I'll tell you how.
Okay.
How is because I was able to have a reference point and see it in real time. You see?
Yeah.
So it made it real for me, opposed to looking from the outside, looking in, guessing and thinking what that looks like. So when someone, because to be honest with you, got to think, I know Percy.
Yeah.
See, Percy and Courtney are friends.
Yeah,
The world
come
knows
on.
Master P.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so we would have been friends regardless of whatever we did. We could have been goddamn trash men, and we still would have clicked and connected, right? But so I say it in that sense because I know where you're going with that. A lot of people tend to think that because P is a close friend of mine or any of my celebrity friends that somehow things are mapped out and I have more access. Yes and no. Yes and no. I still have to do the work, right?
Yeah.
I still got to do the work.
Yeah.
Case in point, and I told somebody this just recently. Like, okay, P is my friend. He's just a man. He's not God. He can't wave his hand and all things happen.
Yeah.
No, that's just it doesn't happen. So even in the podcast space, I reached out when we were at the Super Bowl. I told him, I said, you know what? I said, man, you cool. You still cool with Charlamagne, right? I said, man, nigga changed his number on me. I don't got his number no more. I said, holla at him because I'm trying to go to iHeart. Revolt is cool, but shit, I'm trying to do something different. And so he was like, shit, why the fuck you going to do the damn? Why don't you just go to iHeart directly?
Yeah.
I say, cause nigga, I don't know nobody at iHeart.
Yeah.
He said, yes, we do. He said, such and such is my partner. He over everything. I said, well, I didn't know that, nigga. You didn't say that. This is how we talking, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, okay. He said, yeah, I'll connect you. So, but what I'm saying is I had to build trust with me and him for him to put his name and his neck out to be willing to make that introduction. He knows I'm not gonna embarrass him. He knows I'm not gonna do bad business. He knows I'm gonna do what I'm gonna say, right? And I've done the work of building the what I'm asking for.
Yeah,
so I'm not a nigga sitting back with an idea saying, man, why you don't put me on and just put me with your people? What you want me to put them for? What you gonna talk to them about?
Yeah.
I got an idea. Nah, fuck that. You can't talk to that man about no idea.
Well,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
So, that's how I would say, you know what I mean?
No, I respect it. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
This person still got to have their own character.
Yeah.
Understand?
And that's why we've been able to maintain our friendship for so long, is because one thing about it is I've always been autonomous. I've always had my own lane, my own money, my own aspirations. We've been able to do things together, but I'm not someone who always relied on P for everything. See, I never looked at him like, oh, I need to have what you have. I need to live how you live.
Yeah.
No, he lived where the billionaires live.
Yeah.
I live where, the kind of rich people live. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But I haven't put in the work to live where he lived.
Yeah.
And that's some hoe ass shit if I feel entitled to his shit. Like, what the fuck? Just because we friends, I'm supposed to, nigga, you live in a 20 million, where am I?
Yeah.
If that's the case, then shit, nigga might as well be able to come over and take my old lady out and do whatever. Like, fuck. My kids call him daddy. Like, I don't get niggas' mentalities like that. So, but that's why we've been able to have a friendship, because I've always been a man.
Yeah.
And did my, take care, handle my candle.
Your business, straight up, yes. Hold the Court podcast.
Yeah.
How did that come about, man?
Shit. All right, so I'm gonna try to condense it because I talk. Man, I've been alive a long time, and I got a lot of fucking experiences. So, I think this is important because especially if youngsters is watching this. So how did it start? All right, me not knowing it started in high school, probably before then.
Okay.
My senior year of high school, I graduated from Northeast Senior. Shout out Viking for life. Shout out to Northeast. So, so again, I told you I've been to jail and all of that shit in my high school year. So senior year, I'm barely about to graduate, but I didn't want to hear my mama mouth. So I knew I needed to make this shit happen. So senior year, Mr. Connor, senior English, I get up, I had to write a paper and I had to get up and say it, do the speech. I do it. Now, mind you, I got on standard gangster uniform, the Cortezes, the khakis, the Georgetown starter coat, So I think I'm gangstered out. Yeah. So I get up there, I say it. He tells me, he's like, Richardson, you have a wonderful speaking voice. You speak so eloquently, you should consider public speaking.
Yeah.
This nigga had me fucked up. He embarrassed me. Because I feel like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he done disrespected my gangster.
Right,
like, nigga, I'm not smart like that. The fuck? Right? He had me fucked up.
Yeah.
So fast forward 20-something, 30 years later, in 2017, 16, P does a show with Playboy Radio called Doing the Most. It's like a talk show. And so he asked me to come on. So I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
He's like, man, nigga, just come hang out, talk shit. So I come do it. And the executives, they were like, you kind of good at this. And I was like, good at what? Nigga, we just talking, right? So they end up taking me to Dash Radio in Hollywood and getting me my own show at Dash Radio in 2017.
Okay.
Snoop had a show over there and everything, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't understand the business. I just understood. I knew how to talk, right? And so I did that for about 7-8 months, put it down, because I couldn't figure out how to monetize it. Okay. So then fast forward to the quarantine, I done watched everything on fucking Netflix and shit. I'm on YouTube now. Now I'm watching podcasts. So I'm like, I might have something to offer in this space. You know what I mean? So that's where it started. And I called producer Ken. He owned a soundstage, or owns a soundstage in Burbank. So then I start going through my Rolodex, you know, and I start hitting my celebrity friends. I hit Jay Prince, I hit Ice-T, I hit Michael Jai White. I hit everybody. Everybody showed up for me.
Yes.
Literally. One call. Yeah, I come when you want me to come. And so X-Rated, shout out to my brother X-Rated. He had just kind of come home a few months prior to that. He took a private jet out to LA to come do the show. He brought one of his business partners, which was an older white gentleman. I think he was English, had an accent. He's from London. He watched our first interview. It was 3 hours long. And he said, man, he said, you have a real skill set. He said, I was engaged the whole time. You asked great questions. So that gave me more confidence in the space. But then it took me back to Mr. Connor.
Okay, oh yeah.
And I was like, that nigga, Mr. Connor said this shit a long time ago. And so, you know, I've been all over the country speaking to kids with P. You know, me and Crazy Bone, we're trying to do some things with kids as well. So I've mentored and I've spoke to kids, and so I'm like, damn, that nigga Mr. Connor was right. Like, so that's what made me start it. But then also the messaging of it, I felt like it was a lot of bullshit in our culture that was exploitive. So I wanted to make a platform that humanized us and made us look good. Not perfection, but, you know, at least highlight the good shit. And we can have those difficult conversations, but it's not exploitive. So, you know, I've had, you know, Chico Brown, who's a drug kingpin. I had Mob James from Death Row. I've had these street figures come on, but yeah, that's cool. You shot a bunch of niggas, you went to jail, you sold a bunch of dope. Why did you make those choices? Let's peel those layers back. And then there are redemptive qualities because they turned a corner. So now what are you doing now to atone for that?
Yes.
So tell the whole story. That's what I created the platform for. So it's always gratifying when I travel and people be like, man, I love how you represent the culture. That's what I did it for.
That's really what class stuff.
Yeah.
I just recently Miss Pearly. Oh God.
Oh yeah, BB Drake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Oh man, she's become like my adopted grandmother.
Oh man, I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was dope. Like I think you even are bringing people on there that I don't know, not even people that we don't get to see as often or hear their story.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I love that.
I wanted to be intentional because one thing about me is I'm not chasing views.
Yes.
People that come on my show are literally people I want to talk to. You know what I mean? And then I understand we're in a different time. You know, you can have someone that has popularity and they have the followers and they ain't necessarily done shit. Right? Sure. They just, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's a space for that. But I just choose to kind of be more intentional and bring on people that maybe have really accomplished something, you know, and can inspire. That's really what it come back to. That's what the platform is about, to inspire.
How did you and your baby girl, they should co-host. How did that come about? Was that intentional or how did that come about?
That was just kind of organic, man. You know, my daughter, she is not the camera person, you know. But I told her, she does, man. People love her. Really people love her. I'm actually producing a show for her but I'm going to put it on me and Ice-T. We have our own streaming network we're starting called the OG Network. So I'm going to put her show on there. Thank you. So, my daughter, man, she's a millennial, you know, she's educated, she's funny, and she grew up with me. So, you know, I exposed her to a lot, street shit, music shit, all of that. So, and she grew up on rap. I raised her on Spice One, Brother Lynch Hung, SIBO, and all that shit, right? So, man, I told her, I said, man, why don't you come on the show? At first, she was like, really? She's like, Dad, I don't do. I said, come on, you're gonna be good.
Yeah.
And so people love her. She viral right now. She got a video that's like over 1 million, just I think in about 6 days.
That's
So
dope.
yeah. Shout out to
people.
Rachel Renee.
Hey, come on.
Shout out to Rachel Renee.
That is
I love
so
that everybody
fire.
asks me about my daughter.
That's
Everybody
fire.
loves my daughter. Yeah.
That's dope to even bring that and you just keep it in.
Yeah, and shout out to my other 2 kids. My son, Courtney, he graduated UCLA last year. And he works, he works behind the scenes. He's an actor. Okay. And my daughter, Courtney, my youngest, she does my daughter's makeup and she styles her. And she does the BTS. Yeah.
Keep it funneling. That's dope. That's dope. So hold on. How many Courtneys?
It's 3 of us.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's me. My son is Courtney the third, and then my daughter is just Courtney the girl. That's
what's up. Right? All the Courtneys. That's what's up. That's dope. That's dope. Man, how does it feel when you come back home sometimes?
Honestly.
Because I appreciate you just coming in.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You want me to keep it 100, 100?
I want to keep it.
We're going to keep it 100 right here on the doghouse.
Yes.
For many years, I used to love to come back home. But I can say probably within the last couple years, it feels different. It feels different. And not necessarily in a good way, I think social media gives people, more access to you. People can, they take their own, idea of who they think you are and what they think you're about. I've had my share of hate, and I think I get 99% love, but the 1% of hate is loud and relentless. They're relentless. And so, I say probably within the past couple years, I'm not gonna say I feel unsafe, but I feel targeted, if that makes sense. But not on some scary shit, but just on in a real way.
For sure. For sure.
And when I say targeted, not just from hoe ass niggas, but I'm saying from clout chasers, from clout chasing bitches, all that. I feel a target, like we gotta get something on him. We have to get something. Somebody got to kill him, rob him, beat him up. Some bitch got to get a naked picture of something. Something. It got to be something. You know what I mean? So, unfortunately, you know what I mean? But I still come back. I still love my city. I still, do what I can do and all of that, My family tells me all the time, because I used to drop my location all the time. I go live. Oh, I'm here. Like, stop doing that shit.
Sure.
So, but I love the city, though.
That's because you're doing great things.
That come with it.
That's all. You got to understand it. That's what I'm like, no.
I never felt that before, though. That's the thing, man. By God's grace, I have been doing okay and successful for a cool minute. Most of my adult life, I've been nigga rich. You know what I mean? So the only thing that changed was the social media. Because people can see
it more,
and they looking at you every day, and they, and that grows that bullshit. It festers, so, I'm navigating that. And ironically, I only get it here.
But you understand why that's
I only get it here. I've been in LA 22 years. Them motherfuckers, I go to Compton, I go to Watts, Court, we fuck with you, bro. Holdin Court, nigga, we fuck. LA fuck with you. I go to New Orleans, I go to any other city. KC, then it's like, shit, who that nigga? You know what I mean? Why he looking like that? Y'all know that nigga? Like,
do you think anybody, if you become successful out of here, do you think it's best to get out of here? Like, or just surround yourself in a different environment? Or?
It's tricky, man. I think it depends on, I don't know. Cause see, tech is still here and they leave tech alone. But Tech has a different energy though. Tech is such a good guy. He's such a good guy.
Shout out Tech.
Shout out to Tech. I like to think I'm a good guy, but see, I can be a cheerleader for foolishness too. See, I can, you know what I mean? So when the bullshit come to me, I run to the bullshit, and I probably need to stop, right?
Like, I ain't ducking
right. See, I think if you get good at ducking the bullshit, sure, but if I don't know. So, I don't know. I think it just depends on the person, But I would say, definitely, if you are successful, don't go and be around motherfuckers that don't have nothing to lose, because they just gonna help you lose everything you work for. And I believe to some instance, some of the situations I've had to deal with on social media were ploys to try to get me to crash out, to try to get me to, oh, we tripped him up, look at him, he's stupid. You know, because that's what the internet will do. They'll let motherfuckers play with you and be entertained by it.
Yeah.
But the minute you get serious and do something, oh, he's stupid.
Yep.
He dumb.
Yep.
I wouldn't have did that, but hold up.
Yep.
Y'all was cheering and acting like I was a whole half of, whole ass nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then when I smacked him, now I'm dumb and I'm getting sued. Like, so it's tricky.
Yeah, the internet has changed the whole different. Yeah, we can go down the whole rabbit hole with this stuff, but man, Court, I don't even want to have to end it so soon, man.
I'm here.
Like,
I mean, it's on you. I'm on your time.
Jeez.
Get it while we here.
I promise you. I know.
Get it while we here.
Before I get you up out of here, though, I do want. It's one thing I do. I want you to play this game. I got caught
Okay.
in the bowl, man.
Hey, what's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court podcast and Revolt TV. You already know what it is, man. Listen, I'm gonna do this dig into the bowl thing for my homegirl, Ride Below the Star. I'm gonna do this shit. Now, I don't know what's in here, but I'm gonna do it because she asked me to do it. So let's see what we got here. She said I gotta answer this shit. Who wrote these questions, though? Let me see. Would you rather always have to wear clown shoes or a sombrero? I'll take the sombrero. Am I pronouncing it right? Sombrero? I live in LA and I'm fucking this up. I'll take the sombrero. That's the big Mexican hat, right? Okay. Yeah. I ain't that cultured. Let me see. Would you rather sneeze confetti or burp glitter? Who the fuck wrote this shit? Okay, would I rather sneeze confetti or burp glitter? I sneeze confetti. Burp glitter, that's some crazy shit. Nigga like a whole punk. Let me see. If you could pause time, what's the first thing you do? That's a good one. If I could pause time. I don't know. Let me come back to that one. Let me see. If you could make one word illegal, what word would you ban? That's a good one. One word? I don't know. It would probably be some racial. I ban the N-word. All right, I ban that. Let's see. If your pet could text you, what would their most common message be? I don't have no pets. If your past self could give you one piece of advice, what would it be? Probably be present. And I would love on my mother a whole lot more. She passed in 2010. So let's see. If your house could talk, what's the first thing it would complain about? I don't know. That's a good one. Damn, y'all got some good questions. If my house could talk, I got a decent house. I keep it clean, though. Probably complain about that roof. I need to get that roof did. Yeah. I've been procrastinating on that. That thing costs an arm and a leg. Let's see. What's something you're embarrassingly bad at, but still do anyways? I can't say it on camera. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm good at that. This mouth work. Nah, I'm just working. Embarrassingly bad at, but still do anyways. I don't know. I don't really do shit that I'm not good at. These are good questions, though. If you could have a personal hype man narrate your life, who would you pick? Ride Below the Star. Let's see. What's your go-to, I don't know what to say, phrase in awkward situations? Damn. You know what? Damn, that's crazy. That's it. Damn, that's crazy. If you could pause time, what's the first thing you do? Man, I don't know. Because if you pause time, then, I mean, if does everybody pause? Everything pause? Right? And time pauses? Oh shit, I'm running in the bank. Yeah, I'm gonna run in the bank. Yeah. That's it. If everything on pause and I can do what I want to do and then snap and then go back, yeah, I'm gonna hit that bank. Yeah, I'm gonna get that bag.
Straight up. That's it. That's all that's in the ball.
That's it. That's it.
Straight up. Court, like y'all had some
You can't even
crazy questions.
Yeah, hey, who wrote them questions?
I came up with them.
Okay.
Yeah, my assistant wrote them.
Oh, okay. All right. They was some out there questions, but that was good though. I like that. I have fun with
it's
them.
just a random game, man. Just a little icebreaker.
Yeah. Nah. I like that.
Man.
I like that.
Crack some smiles and things,
Yeah.
man. Court, what you got coming up next? Anything we got to look forward to? I know the work gonna keep going.
Oh, you already know. You already know. So, right now, of course, the Holdin Court podcast.
Mm-hmm.
When's this gonna air?
Oh boy, probably about a week, maybe give about a week.
Okay.
So,
Holdin Court podcast. You know, we got Bentley Kyle Evans dropping. He was he produced with Martin. He did the Martin show, the Jamie Foxx show.
Okay.
He's kind of like the Tyler Perry of the West Coast. He's got his own sound stage, his own everything. So he's a big dog. He's a Hollywood big dog. Got his interview dropping next. I got a Kansas City segment that I'm dropping. Motherfuckers talk that shit. They talk that shit, right? But what people gotta understand is I live in LA.
Yeah.
I don't film here. You gotta come to me, right?
Yeah.
So I got Gerald Houston dropping. And I got Herb the Phenom.
Fire.
You know.
Fire, yeah.
And I got Roy Scott, aka Mac James.
Okay.
I got them dropping. And I'm gonna be dropping. Well, I don't, you know what? Cause I fuck with you. I'm gonna say it here.
Talk to me.
I did a whole expose at Strange Music, so I got Travis O'Gwen. Yeah, so I got that. So I got a whole little Kansas City segment coming up after Bentley Kyle Evans. And then the network, me and Ice-T, we got the OG network.
Okay.
Where, you know, we have our own tempo shows that we have coming. Of course, we're going to be a friendly space for a lot of displaced content creators and filmmakers because Tubi, you know, they've kind of changed things around, so it's harder to get on there. So, you know, we use a lot of infrastructure, you know, us as a culture, as black people, you know, Instagram, TikTok and all that. But that's all rented real estate.
Yeah.
So we need to partake in ownership of infrastructure. So that's why me and Ice-T created OG Network. And I got my new movie coming out. It'll probably be out maybe in about a month or two called Interstate that I shot in Houston. It's an action movie.
Okay,
it's an action movie. I had a little love scene. I put up the rehearsal. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
I think you have your
and I had the chick. I had the chick and I was kissing her and shit. You know what I mean? So I was trying to get my little Morris Chestnut shit on. You know what I mean?
Come on, Court. Come on.
So I got that coming. So that's really what I'm focused on right now is the OG network and growing the podcast and my daughter's show. You know, my daughter's a tech founder, so she has her company, GMI Go Moves Inc., which is an all-in-one e-commerce marketplace. And she just raised like $2 million for it through the venture capitalists. So you know, that's what we focused on. Yeah. That's what we focused on right now. And I got to say this too. Okay. And you know, I'm working with Sunday.
Yes.
You know, I'm working shout out to the homegirl Sunday. So I'm working with her, trying to get her. Got a couple little situations, you know, for dangling some relationships. So yeah.
Come on, Court. God, it's everywhere like air. You hear me? Like,
hey, I'm trying. And let me say this too, just on your show on camera. You know, I've always said this to you in private. However, I can be of service to you. You already know that. You know, I've said that several times. So however I can help you, you know, just let me know.
I'm already knowing this. Right. Hey, you coming here and bless me with your presence today. It mean a lot. I promise you, man. Hey, y'all. I didn't sit here with my big dog, man. Big Court from Holdin Court podcast. And if y'all don't know, go subscribe. Man, stay up on all of his new content. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you for having me.
Coming and getting in the yard with
And
me,
I'm always, like I said, anytime. I need to put you in some shit too. I'm in pre-production for a movie called Thirst Trap, which is a movie my daughter's co-writing. It's a horror movie, a vampire movie. Okay. I need to find something for you.
They gonna be first. Come on, tap me, and I'm ready
to find something for you.
I'm ready to get my.
She got that personality. We got to show the world her personality. You know what I mean?
I'm ready for that, dog. I appreciate you, Court.
For sure. It's all love.
Hey, y'all, we out.
Salute.